Elon Musk just revealed that China has attacked the Starlink satellite network. Is this just a technological competition or a sign of bigger conflicts to come? Imagine, in just a few minutes, more than 6,000 satellites in orbit can be disabled. What is really going on here? If you are curious about what is happening in the confrontation between Starlink and China, don't miss this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the hottest news that we bring every day. Now, let's explore the surprising truth behind this story. On January 15, 2025, a report from the South China Morning Post revealed shocking information. China's top scientists successfully simulated an attack on Elon Musk's Starlink satellite network. According to the study led by China's leading space expert, Wu Yunhua, a campaign using less than 100 satellites could disable 2,000 Starlink satellites in just over 12 hours. What's more, this result is not just a hypothesis, but was also published in a prestigious Chinese academic journal, causing the world to ask, is China sending a warning message to Elon Musk or preparing for a real space conflict scenario? Starlink, as the world's largest satellite network today, not only provides internet but also plays a strategic role in military operations. Especially in conflicts such as the Ukraine war. This has led China to view the network as a serious threat to national security, leading to the simulation of this attack as part of its space defense strategy. What is unique about China's plan is the combination of advanced technology and AI algorithms that simulate the hunting behavior of whales. Chinese satellites are designed to coordinate their movements, focusing energy from laser and microwave weapons to target a series of Starlink satellites at the same time. Elon Musk has publicly warned about the dangers of these technologies. Although they may seem harmless at first, these devices are actually space weapons. They use an AI algorithm based on the herding behavior of whales, helping to optimize attack tactics, focusing resources to disable hundreds of satellites with just a single attack. According to Wu Yunhua, just 99 satellites can destroy 1,500 Starlink satellites in less than 2 minutes. With 4 consecutive attacks, Starlink's 6,000 satellite network could be shut down within 24 hours. This raises serious questions. Is this technology limited to simulations or is China ready for real deployment? And more importantly, is this the beginning of a space war? While many in the West view Starlink as a commercial technology project aimed at improving internet access, the Chinese government sees the network differently. Starlink is not just a tool for internet connectivity, but can also serve military purposes. This became most evident during the Ukraine conflict, when Starlink provided internet access to the Ukrainian military, helping them survive cyber attacks and gain an advantage over Russia. For China, this is proof that Starlink can become a strategic tool for the US military. A network of more than 6,000 satellites would not only enhance communications capabilities, but also support reconnaissance, intelligence gathering, and even other military missions without the intervention of the US government. This integration has China concerned that they are facing a network of potential space-based military weapons, always waiting above their heads. In addition, China is concerned about the ability of Starlink to circumvent their information censorship system. With the promise of unlimited and uncensored internet, Starlink could become a tool for Chinese citizens to bypass government-imposed censorship barriers, threatening the state's control of information. For these reasons, China views Starlink not only as a business project but also as a threat to national security, leading to strong actions to neutralize the system. Starlink, which aims to provide global internet, has faced a number of worrying security issues since its launch. One of the most notable incidents occurred in 2022, when Leonard Wouters, a programmer with no prominent academic background, successfully hacked into a Starlink device with just a $25 kit. At the popular Black Hat security conference, Leonard demonstrated how he attached a mod chip of his own design to a Starlink receiver, bypassing the entire security system in seconds. Not only did he gain free internet access, but he also demonstrated the potential to hack directly into the system's satellites. Although SpaceX was warned about the issue in 2021, their solution was simply to make hacking more difficult, rather than addressing the underlying hardware problem. Leonard stressed that the issue is a hardware design issue that cannot be fixed simply with software updates. The incident has raised serious concerns about the security of the Starlink system, especially given the important military role of these satellites. If an individual hacker can do this, what if countries or organizations with greater capabilities get involved? This further reinforces China's perception of Starlink as a potential threat. To counter Starlink, China is developing a massive project called Guang, with the goal of launching 13,000 satellites to provide global internet service. The Guang project is not only a technological competition, but also a strategic one, helping China maintain control over information and ensure strict censorship principles. With plans to launch 500 satellites in December alone, Guang poses a direct challenge to Starlink, not only in scale but also in its political and military goals. What makes Guang's project noteworthy is China's approach. Unlike Starlink, which is a private project, Guang is a government-led initiative that aims to not only provide internet but also secure national interests. China has made no secret of its ambitions to use the network to establish sovereignty in space, especially amid growing tensions between major powers. However, deploying such a large number of satellites also faces challenges such as the risk of space congestion and unintended collisions. It is a bold but risky move that could shape the future of both the space industry and global military strategy. The rapid increase in the number of satellites in Earth's orbit is creating a serious problem: space congestion. There are currently more than 11,000 satellites in orbit, nearly 6,000 of which belong to Starlink. With expansion plans from both Starlink and Guang, the number of satellites could increase many times over the next decade, causing orbit to become overcrowded. A major risk is the Kessler syndrome, in which collisions between satellites create debris, leading to a chain reaction that makes launching additional spacecraft or satellites extremely dangerous. In addition to safety concerns, this situation also raises questions about control of space. There is no international body with the authority to coordinate and manage the number of satellites of countries or companies. This leads to uncontrolled competition, as parties race to launch more satellites without considering the long-term consequences. China's development of the Guang project not only adds pressure to orbit but also complicates international relations in space. Without strict management measures, collisions not only cause property damage but also accelerate geopolitical conflicts. Starlink is not just a civilian internet system, but has now become an important part of the U.S. military strategy. This network of more than 6,000 satellites is supporting military forces in remote areas where there is no traditional communication network. The first test of Starlink with the U.S. Navy in 2023 has proven to be extremely effective in providing fast and stable connections to warships, while improving the ability of soldiers to communicate with their families, creating greater motivation in harsh missions. However, this deep integration has raised concerns both at home and abroad. Some lawmakers, such as Senators Jack Reed and Jeanne Shaheen, have called for an investigation into Elon Musk's influence in military decisions, especially given his complicated international business history. They worry that relying too heavily on a private company like SpaceX could expose critical information or create strategic risks in the future. These lawmakers' views reflect a larger issue. Should a private company be allowed to own technology so important that it could affect national security? The integration of Starlink with the U.S. military has raised international tensions, especially from China. With the Starlink satellite network's ability to support military operations such as quickly transmitting intelligence, improving reconnaissance capabilities, and providing secure connectivity, China sees it as a potential threat to its national security. They worry that the U.S. could use Starlink as a tool to control global information and increase military power in space. China has not stopped at criticism, but has taken action. Cyberattacks against Starlink are believed to be part of its defense strategy. These actions are not simply about technological competition, but also reflect the view that allowing a private U.S. company to control so many satellites in space is unacceptable for a power like China. This is why China is investing heavily in the Guang satellite project, aiming to reduce its dependence on the international system and ensure its technological sovereignty. The growing number of satellites in space is creating a serious problem: space congestion. Currently, there are more than 11,300 satellites operating around the Earth, and this number is expected to increase to tens of thousands in just the next decade. This increases the risk of the Kessler syndrome, a phenomenon in which satellite debris collides with each other, creating a chain reaction that makes Earth's orbit dangerous and unusable. In addition, the problem of dealing with decommissioned satellites is also very worrying. Deorbiting or destroying a satellite is costly and risky. Not only that, satellites that fall to Earth can pose a danger to humans if not properly controlled. The uncontrolled proliferation of satellites from countries and private companies is creating a space race, where there are no clear international regulations on the management of shared space. Space is no longer just a place for scientific research but has become a strategic battlefield between countries and private companies. In this race, Elon Musk's Starlink is leading with plans to deploy more than 40,000 satellites, putting great pressure on other countries, especially China. China's Guam project, with plans to launch 13,000 satellites, is not only to provide internet but also highly strategic, affirming their position in space and ensuring absolute control of information. This competition raises a big question about control of space. Should space be a commons of humanity, or will it be divided into spheres of influence for large nations and corporations? With the US and China investing heavily in satellite technology, the risks of space conflict, loss of control in management, and environmental consequences are increasingly evident. This shows that space has become a new front in the global power struggle, where the lines between civilian and military purposes are increasingly blurred. The confrontation between Starlink and China is not only a matter of technology but also a warning bell about tensions in space, a new frontier of the modern world. What do you think about the future of Starlink and the challenges from China? Leave your opinion in the comment section to discuss. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to spread interesting information to everyone.